Hi all of you, now we are going to discuss about real numbers. You know very well what are real numbers. What are real numbers? The rational and irrational numbers together we call it as real numbers. The rational and irrational numbers together, and second one is irrational. What are rational numbers? The numbers which can be expressed in the form p by q, where p comma q belongs to z and q not equal to 0. That means the denominator should not be equal to 0. For example, I am taking a natural number 4. Can I write 4 as 4 by 1? Yes, we can write. Then it is in p by q form. At the same time, 4 and 1 belongs to integers. Then can I write this 4 as 8 by 2? Yes. 8 is a integer, 2 also integer. Then it is in the required form p by q. And the second condition, denominator is not equal to 0. Here you have to remember how to remember the definition. P by q form, the numerator and denominator belongs to integers. The denominator should not be equal to 0. Then it is easy. Then there is no confusion. Okay. That means you can prove all natural numbers are rational like this. Similarly, all whole numbers also rational. What is the difference between natural and whole numbers? 0 only extra. That means if you are able to prove 0 is rational, then automatically remaining already we proved here. For example, 4 only we take. You can take any other number, any other natural or whole. Here 0 only the main difference between natural and whole. That's why I am taking 0. Can I write 0 as 0 by 1? Yes, you can write 0 as 0 by 2 or 0 by minus 5, anything you can write. Now it is in the required form of p by q, where the denominator is not equal to 0. At the same time, numerator and denominator both belongs to integers. Now 0 also a rational. Here the condition, denominator should not be 0, numerator may be 0. No problem with that. That means all natural, all whole numbers, all integers also rational. Like this we can prove. Then other than this natural, whole and integers, what are the extra numbers we may have in rational numbers? You may come across this type of numbers in your previous classes. 1 by 2, minus 3 by 2, 5 by 6, 10 by 11. Have you seen these numbers anywhere? Yes. That means natural, whole, integer along with those, this type of numbers all comes under rational. Okay, is it clear? Now what are irrational numbers? Generally we are giving the definition for irrational, the numbers which are rational. Then other than these numbers, almost all we have seen all these numbers in our daily life also. But what are the other numbers we may have other than this? You may see the numbers like root 2, root 3, root 7 like this. Then what is this root 2? What is the meaning of the square root? Square root is nothing but you have to write the number inside the root as the product of two equal numbers. If you are able to find the root, if you are able to find the number whose product means if the product of two equal numbers is equal to this number, then that we call it as square root value. For example, square root of 16. What is the meaning of square root? Here you have to split this 16 as the product of two equal numbers. Then by squaring, 4 into 4 means what? 4 square. By squaring 4 we are getting 16. That means 4 is the cos of squaring, means for getting 16, means square root. Square root means by squaring a number you are getting the number here, then that we call it as square root of that number. Is there any number possible for 2 like this, 4 into 4 or 1 into 1? No, no such number. This type of numbers we call it as irrational numbers. That means simply The numbers which are not rational we call it as irrational numbers. It is just briefly about what actually real numbers. Now in this chapter what we are going to discuss here. Here mainly we are going to discuss two important properties of positive integers. Two important properties of positive integers. The first one is Euclid division algorithm, and the second one is fundamental theorem of arithmetic. The first one is Euclid division algorithm and the second one is fundamental theorem of arithmetic. What is Euclid division algorithm? First, we'll see briefly what is Euclid division algorithm, where we are having the application of this. If you observe the name Euclid division algorithm, that means it deals with divisibility properties of integers. It deals with divisibility properties of positive integers here. Okay. And Euclid division algorithm, that is D for division. Okay, it is clear. It deals with divisibility properties of integers. And what is algorithm? You know very well algorithm in your computer programming. Algorithm is nothing but a series of steps to produce one output. For example, I have to find sum of two numbers. I have to write a program. I have to solve a program. I have to add 2 and 3. For this, they are asking what are the steps you follow for find the sum of 2 and 3. What are the steps you have to do? First one, take 2 and 3. That means given. Okay, we are writing given in descriptive questions now like that. Take 2 and 3 taken. Next, apply plus means addition. Next, after applying, we have to start do what we have to do. After applying the symbol, we have to add. What is the procedure? Keep 2 in mind, open 3 fingers and count. Okay, that you have to mention. Keep 2 in mind, open 3 fingers and start counting. And fifth one is result equal to result. Okay, is it clear or not? That means a series of steps to produce an output is nothing but algorithm. Here Euclid division algorithm, that means here we are having algorithm means some steps in division. Where we are having the steps we'll discuss. Now simple what Euclid division algorithm is saying, I am having two positive integers a and b. I am having two positive integers a and b and I am dividing a by b. Okay. The divisibility of a by b is always unique. That means only one quotient, only one remainder is possible. That, for example, to understand this, take simple example. I am dividing 7 by 2. 2 3s are 6, remainder is 1. Then how can we write this one? 7 means dividend. This what we call dividend, divisor, quotient and remainder. These names you know very well. Okay. Here it is dividend, divisor, quotient and remainder. Dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder 1. Dividend, here we are dividing a by b. That means what is dividend here? A is dividend and by b we are dividing. That means b is the divisor and take quotient q plus remainder r. This is nothing but that to what Euclid division algorithm is saying, it is always unique. It is always unique. That means only one possibility of q and one possibility of remainder. For example, here we are dividing 7 by 2. How many quotients are possible? 3 only. Any other possibility? No. How many remainders? Only one. Is it always unique or not? Yes. Suppose you are dividing 7 by 3, for example. 3 2s are 6. Remainder is 1. But it is the division by 3. What is the quotient now? 2. Remainder is 1. It is unique for the division of 3. Don't compare this and this. Don't ask, sir, both remainders are same. Here with 2 is there, means whenever you are dividing 7 by 2, other than 3 and 1 combination possible. That only you have to observe. Don't compare two different divisions. Okay. Here it is completely related to division by 3. 3 2s are 6, remainder is 1. That means division, if you divide 7 by 3, the only possible quotient is 2 and only possible remainder is 1. Other than these two, no other possibility. That is the uniqueness. That's what Euclid division algorithm is saying. Okay, just this is briefly, then in detail we'll see later. And where we can use this division algorithm, what is the application? Okay, before going to application, what I can write, it is saying the divisibility of A by B is always unique, like A equal to BQ plus R. Here A is dividend, divisor, quotient and remainder. Now where we are having the application of this divisibility algorithm for finding HCF of two positive integers. In finding HCF of two positive integers, we are having this division algorithm. Now that is what actually Euclid division algorithm. And coming to second one, fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Fundamental theorem of arithmetic deals with multiplication of integers. It deals with multiplication. Division algorithm deals with division. Fundamental theorem of arithmetic deals with multiplication of integers. You all know very well about, we can write the composite number as the product of prime numbers in a unique way. Am I correct? We'll see. For example, composite number means what? First of all, what is a composite number? If any number having more than two factors, such type of numbers we call it as composite. For example, 4. Is it a composite number or not? Yes. Why? Because the factors for 4. Factors means what? Just find the numbers which divides 4 exactly. One table divides every number, means 1 is a factor, and every number itself means 1 and 4 fixed. Then what is the extra number? 2. 2 2s are 4. That means here 4 we can write it as 1 into 2 into 2. Here simply write 2 square. I am excluding 1. Okay. Why? Because here I am writing the product, I am writing the composite number as the product of prime numbers, but 1 is not prime, not composite. That means simply 2 into 2. Yes, 4. Then we can write 2 square. For example, another composite number 6. 2 into 3. Another composite number 8 or 10, you can take 2 into 5 or 5 into 2. You may write the order may be 2 into 5 or 5 into 2, but the factors 2 and 5, here also 5 and 2, means only unique way, but order may be your choice, no problem. 3 into 2, it is also correct. That means every composite number can be expressed as the product of prime numbers in unique way. Here we are dealing this fundamental theorem of arithmetic with multiplication. Here in multiplication, for example, every composite number can be expressed as the product of prime numbers in unique way. What Euclid division algorithm is saying, the division of two possibility means divisibility of two positive integers are also always unique. Here divisibility is unique. Here factorization, prime factorization is unique. Divisibility is dealing by Euclid division algorithm, and this factorization, prime factorization, is deal by fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Then what are the applications here? Euclid division lemma we are using for finding the HCF. Then where we are having the application of fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Fundamental theorem of arithmetic mainly we are using for proving irrationality. For proving irrationality of the given irrational number. To prove that root 2 is irrational, to prove root 3 is irrational, such type of numbers. And second one is to find the given P by Q form, whether it may have terminating or non-terminating decimal in its decimal form. Suppose 2 by 3. Here if we want to write the decimal form, and to find whether it may have terminating decimal or non-terminating decimal without actual division. Here also we will apply fundamental theorem of arithmetic. These two are the main applications here, and Euclid division algorithm main application is to find the HCF of given positive integers. Okay, this is what briefly about Euclid division algorithm and fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Now we will see Euclid division lemma. What is lemma? Euclid division lemma. Lemma is nothing but a proven statement used for proving another statement. Lemma means a proven statement is used for proving another statement. Just wait a minute. Next one, Euclid division lemma. Lemma is nothing but what? A proven statement used for proving another statement, that we call it as lemma. That is Euclid division lemma. Better you can understand through one example. Here I have to divide some numbers. For example, first one I have to divide 13 by 5. Second one 4 by 7. And I have to divide 20 by 4. 13 by 5. If I divide 13 by 5, 5 table. 5 2s are 10. Remainder is 3. Next 4. Here 7 is greater than 4 means only 0 times. 7 0 0, then 4 is the remainder. Here 20 by 4. 4 5s are 20 and the remainder is 4 5s are 20, remainder is 0. Then this we call it as lemma. Okay, that means here 13 dividing by 5. 5 2s are 10 plus 3. It is only unique way. There is no other possibility. Okay, just try to understand. It looks like algorithm. A small difference between lemma and algorithm. Algorithm means what? Continuous steps, a series of steps. Here if you take only one like this, that we call it as lemma. That's it. That is the main difference. That Euclid division algorithm also we are using this lemma. What is lemma means? This is lemma. Means a proven statement used for proving another statement. That means here 13 divided by 5 we are getting 3, and 4 divided by 7 means 7 into 0 plus 4, and here if you observe the remainders 3 4 0, compare with the divisor. Here the remainder is always less than the divisor. If you observe that one, have you observed? Yes, it is always true. Next here the remainder is 0 less than 4, and the remainder is always 0 or maybe positive. Am I correct or not? Yes. Then what can we conclude about this lemma in general form? Suppose if I am taking two numbers a and b, where a greater than b, Therefore A equal to, that I am dividing first number by second number. Then A equal to BQ plus R. That means we are dividing A by B. Then we are getting a quotient Q and the remainder R. And what is the condition for R? This R, remainder always less than the divisor B. R may be greater than or equal to 0, means remainder always lies between 0 to B. Sometimes the remainder may be 0 like this. Okay, just observe here. Okay, from this example you can understand clear this condition. Here we are dividing A by B. That's why A equal to B into quotient plus remainder. Remainder is always between 0 to the divisor. With what number we are dividing here? B. Therefore 0 less than or equal to. Why? Because there is a possibility of getting remainder as 0. Otherwise maybe positive, maybe 3, 4, 1 like that. Okay. Then this we call it as Euclid division lemma. This lemma we are using in Euclid division algorithm. Means we are using this lemma in more than 3 to 4 steps for finding the HCF. That's why that becomes Euclid division algorithm. Algorithm means what? Series of steps. In each step we are using this Euclid division lemma, this proven statement. Okay. Now we'll see one example for better understanding. Find the HCF of 4052 and 12,576. 12,576. See here, first compare the given numbers. Since 12,576 is greater than 4052, apply division lemma, Euclid division lemma to what number? This number and this number. Take the greatest number first, 4052. To get nothing but write the lemma. What is the lemma? The greatest number here. Here we are dividing this by this. Means 76. Here actually not division lemma. For HCF we are doing. Okay. Then 12,576 equal to, I am dividing by 4052 into, and if you divide it here you will get 3 times plus the remainder is 420. Remainder is 420. Now observe the remainder. Here is the remainder 0? No. Write that one. Since remainder 420 is not equal to 0. Then if the remainder is not equal to 0, we have to apply the lemma for this divisor and the remainder. Apply division lemma to 4052 and 420 to get. That means now 4052 becomes the dividend and 420 becomes the divisor. 420 into something plus remainder. 420 how many times it cancels? If you observe, 9 times it cancels and you will get 272 as the remainder. 272 as the remainder. Now again observe the remainder. What is the remainder here? 272. 272 is not equal to 0. Same again, since 272 is since remainder 272 is not equal to 0, we apply the DL, means division lemma to 420, means this divisor and remainder. 420 equal, that you have to write here. 420 equal to 272 into how many times it cancels? 1 time, equal remainder is 140. Same story amma. Compare the remainder. Then 270 for now again we have to apply division lemma for 272 and 148. Then 272 equal to 148 into 1 and the remainder is 124. Just repeat all these steps, that's it. That means next 148 and 124. 148 equal to 124 into 2 times, remainder is 0. Whenever you got remainder, stop. That is the last step. At last step, wait, here 2 times, sorry Amma, here 1 time only. Why? Because 2 times means 248. Okay, here also it never stops. Okay, then again the remainder is 24. Now again take 124 and 24, and 124 equal to 24 into 5, remainder is 4, and again 24 and 4, 24 equal to 4, 6 are 0, then 0. And in the last step, at the last step, whatever the divisor means left, here remainder is 0, that means this is the last step. At that stage, the divisor becomes the HCF of the given two numbers. These are steps you have to write according to the situation. Suppose if the same question they ask for 2 marks, without writing, simply write first step like this, since apply, and no need to write all these. Simply take this step, next this step, next this step, simplification. Suppose the same question for 4 marks. According to the situation, you have to increase number of steps. Suppose it is 4 marks means clearly you should write like this. Each time you have to write. Since the remainder is not equal to 0, we have to apply DL. Again, since the remainder is not equal to 0, we have to apply the lemma. Okay, like that you have to complete till the end. If it is 2 marks, no need, simply write first time 1 time and write the steps like this, direct steps. No need to write these since remainder is not equal to, no need to mention. Suppose it is 4 marks, you have to increase number of steps. That is also important. According to the situation, you have to act. Okay, thank you. It is what about the application of Euclid division algorithm to find the HCF.